Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. Welcome back yet again everybody. Today we've got a comparison video and man am I excited. It's been a minute since I made a comparison video and this is between two fragrances. One, the intense version of the original, and the original being an absolute classic in the fragrance world. Now before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe guys. Again, your likes, your subscription, watching the videos, going through our library is absolutely essential to the growth of this channel. So please continue to support all that we do here in the channel and I appreciate you guys. Now today we are going to talk about a fragrance that, man, it's been 2 years since I talked about this fragrance. 2 years ago when the channel started, I did a comparison video as well between this fragrance and King Aventus. This fragrance is none other than Mancera Cedrat Boise, guys. Mancera Cedrat Boise. 2 years ago, I did a comparison with Aventus, and just to sum it up so you guys don't have to watch that video, I said that, hey, this ain't Aventus, okay? This is its own thing. Please do not really compare this to Aventus because you're really gonna find out that although this has lemon and ambergris and vanilla, this thing though is a different beast on its own. Now one of the things that I'm also going to discuss here is why I eventually sold it. So I had Cedrat Boise, a full bottle 2 years ago, and then I eventually sold it, guys, probably like a couple months after that. And when I found out that Mancera made an intense Cedrat Boise last year, man, I was just like, we gotta get to the bottom of this, because I know that a lot of my subscribers and also just viewers that want to know what the bottom line is on these fragrances want to know what's so similar, what's so different, and how do they each compare when it comes to performance, sillage, and actual usage. Okay, so let's look into the original right here, Mancera Cedrat Boise. Why is this so great within the fragrance community? First and foremost, I gotta say this, guys, that Mancera Cedrat Boise, it's almost like a rite of passage in the fragrance community. Like you're never really in it until at some point you're gonna buy a full bottle of Mancera Cedrat Boise and use it, and then maybe eventually sell it or keep it. But it is, in my opinion, just like Aventus though, a rite of passage in Fragcom. A lot of people like the original Cedrat Boise because of the vibrance that it gives, okay? So once you smell this, you spray this on your skin, it's gonna be a sillage bomb. Okay, the sillage is gonna be out there. It is absolutely vibrant with the Sicilian citruses. And if you're a big fan of that, if you're a big fan of attention-getting, huge sillage, vibrant and uplifting citruses, then of course Cedrat Boise is gonna sweep your feet away. Like you're definitely gonna be taken for a ride with this fragrance right here. Now I will say this, guys, okay? That's not why I like Mancera Cedrat Boise the most, okay? So a lot of people will go for the vibrance. A lot of people will go because it's strong and it's attention getting. But for me, guys, the best part of Cedrat Boise is that second layer that comes in after you get the vibrant citruses. That part, in my opinion, is the best part of Cedrat Boise. And what do I mean by that? Once the fruity notes add up, okay, as well as the woody edge of patchouli, I think that that's the most wonderful part, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. And you can really feel that within, I would say, 1 hour or less than an hour, because when you spray Cedrat Boise, the original, you're gonna get the strong citruses, but then within maybe 45 minutes, a second layer comes in. And you know it's fruity notes because it doesn't smell quite the same as the citruses or even the blackcurrant, but there's like a fruity accord that comes in as a second layer within 45 minutes with the woody edge of patchouli coming in. And man, that to me is the killer part. For me, I like it because it adds a second dimension that is not linear, that is not really as expected. And I think that it adds more body to Cedrat Boise. And I think that this part is the compliment getter part because the citruses can overlap this fruity patchouli part. But I think that this is the one. This is the one that's kind of like a spike to the senses. a little bit different than one expected. And so that's the part I really, really like about it. I think that after owning a full bottle of Cedrat Boise and Instant Crush and some Montails, I think that the strength of this company, or the strength of the fragrances that they have right here, is that almost all of them, if not all of them, strike a strong chord, a strong, intense, emotional chord with the wearer. Once you wear it, it's the intense, like, chord that's being struck in your nose that will make people really buy it. It's not necessarily the evolutions or the changes of the notes. It's just that blast, guys. That blast is just unbelievable with that second layer and of course the subsequent notes. But because it just strikes this emotional, like, you know, like it will make you feel good. You know, it'll make you feel good about yourself as you are wearing this fragrance, as you are walking around. It's almost guaranteed that, you know, this fragrance right here, because of its vibrance and the nice fruity parts and the woody parts as well, will put you in a mood and will put others in a mood. Now, the thing I found interesting about Cedrat Boise is that nowadays they are talking about its performance. And I never looked into it until I actually felt it myself. Because as far as I know, 2 years ago, when I had that bottle, and I don't know what batch that was, don't ask me, but for me, that lasted pretty long when I had that full bottle 2 years ago. And this sample that I got from Perfume Samples and Decants, I don't know if this is a 2022 bottle or what, but I was surprised at how this thing kind of stopped at like the 6 or 7 hour mark. And today I even did like a final like survey for people, and a lot of people really voted between the 4 to 6 and the 7 to 9. And that like falls right into like the performance that I got, the longevity and the significant scent of Cedrat Boise. Man, maybe I expected more. Maybe I expected more, but it kind of stopped at like 6 or 7. And I've had fragrances that are not blasters like Cedrat Boise, but they go past that significant scent. They go 9, 10, 11, 12. But this one right here is, in my opinion, 6 to 7. And past 7, you're gonna get some whiffs of maybe some of that vanilla and maybe that oak moss in the woods, but it's just here and there. But if we talk about the consistent, significant scent, kind of stopped at 7. And I was surprised about that. So let me know in the comments below if this maybe is a reformulation, or maybe if this is a new thing with Cedrat Boise that people are complaining about a shorter longevity with this. But that's definitely something I can say after multiple usages of Cedrat Boise, that I feel like the longevity significant scent is way lesser than the bottle I had 2 years ago. Ultimately though, because of the price, I think that the price of this one is competitive with even designer perfumes. I think that's why a lot of people buy it. Longevity is not too bad. It's really not about it. It's really about the vibrance of this fragrance right here and the beautiful uplifting notes of Cedrat Boise. I think that people will continue to buy it. People will continue to like it. And because it's such a usable thing, super usable. Like I can imagine just being in a birthday party, for example, where it's like a large birthday party or a large gathering, where you are going to meet people you know, people you don't know. I would say Cedrat Boise is like the perfect one right there. I think it's a perfect thing to use in those occasions because it'll put people in a positive mood. It'll put you in a positive light because of that beautiful sillage you bring. And at the same time, you know, it's casual. It's definitely casual. Like, I can see this being worn in a semi-formal occasion, but I think it's also very, very casual. The usability of this is almost anytime, anywhere, especially on hot weather. But it's like I said, it's very casual, guys, and I think that that's one of the big characteristics of the original Cedrat Boise. Now let's look into Intense. I know you guys want to know about this. So Intense right here, this one was interesting too. I mean, normally when I see Intense, I think cash grab. Okay, that's what I think. I think it's a cash grab. I think that a lot of these companies will look into what their highest selling thing is and then add the word intense, maybe tweak a few things, and then boom, we've got another bestseller. And you can actually see that right now with Boudicca. Boudicca came out with Blue Sapphire Intense, for example, and it was like, dude, are you serious? Like, Blue Sapphire is pretty intense on its own, and you're gonna add intense. So you know, I normally, when I see stuff like that, it's like cash grab, so I don't really like look into it that much. But sometimes you do get a fragrance that's totally different. That's the cool thing about it though. When they do something like this, and I'm glad we can sample, is that you can come out with a totally different thing. And you can see that with Tobacco Oud Intense, Tobacco Oud, totally different things, by Tom Ford. I reviewed that. Now, first and foremost, what I am going to address right here is the projection, guys. That's the first thing I saw when I looked into the feedback of Intense Cedrat Boise. A lot of people are saying this does not project as much as the original, guys, okay? And I can attribute that to, number one, the note breakdown, as well as the intended effect of Intense Cedrat Boise. If the original Cedrat Boise is well known for its vibrance, for the blast of citruses, the uplifting blast of citruses that gets continued with that nice fruity layer that I really like, plus the woods, plus the vanilla. If it's known for that continuous uplifting surge of sillage, this one right here is not. The Intense version has an amped up bergamot, guys. And if you've watched my videos for so long, you guys know that bergamot is a curve, okay? It's a curved note. It stops anything that's sort of vibrant. If you have like a distribution between lemon and bergamot, for example, and the lemon is the vibrant one, the bergamot is also citrusy and lemony, but it is more, how could you say this, bitter, or is not as vibrant as the lemon. And in this case, guys, Intense has more bergamot. You can really smell the change because it does not give you that super vibrant effect of the original. Once I see bergamot in the beginning, once I smell bergamot in the beginning of any fragrance, I smell something semi-formal. I smell something more regal, intended for regal, semi-formal purposes, guys. And in this case, that's what you get. So if you're wondering why it doesn't project as much, it's not that it doesn't project that much. It actually does, but it's that bergamot compared to the lemony, strong citrus blast that you are getting in the original. Now, my guess of Intense Cedrat Boise being like a semi-formal scent came to fruition once I got to smell the mid. So this is where it changes. On the first part, you have that beautiful fruity second layer. Blackcurrant, fruity notes. I love that part. But in this case, guys, it's a little bit different because a suede leather accord comes in as the second layer, all right? And that is coupled with Cambodian oud. So it's gonna be Cambodian oud with a suede leather accord, guys. And that's really the difference. Right from the beginning, this fragrance is already curved by that bergamot. But then it's really confirmed that it's a curve once those warming notes do come in, guys, all right? And that's when I was just like, yeah, this is truly a semi-formal version or a semi-formal scent because of these warming notes. I mean, how can I describe this, guys? Well, you know, first and foremost, let's give props to the suede leather accord before we go into the oud. So the suede part of this fragrance is really nice because this is the bridge, okay? You're gonna feel this warming, furry, suede part, sort of like a cashmere part coming in right on the bridge right here as a second layer. And then the leather is surprisingly there, but it is not as prominent as like a leather scent where you have a thick, realistic leather where you smell it and you're like, oh gosh, leather bag, leather shoes. No, this one right here is more of like a leather nuance that is hidden right under that suede, guys. And so it's really, really smooth. It might go over your head that there's actual leather here. And then I would say that the Cambodian oud right here is a sweet, warming, smooth oud right here. So I don't know if this is like real Cambodian oud, because we have smelled some real deal ouds in this channel. But right here, it's like a sweet oud that I think is pretty digestible, and it does come in, like I said, with that suede leather accord. So very, very smooth and warming note right here. So right then and there, if you're a fan of the fruity notes, maybe you're not gonna like Intense so much, but it's also a nice twist because it now goes into the semi-formal nature with the enjoyable parts, like I said, of that suede oud combo. I think it's enjoyable as well, guys. Now, also take a note of this, guys. When it comes to Intense Cedrat Boise, it does come with what they call hot spices. So it's gonna be a lot more aromatic, something that can be expected from a semi-formal fragrance. And yeah, it's definitely a lot more spicy compared to the original. This is where the opinion diverges, guys. This is where some people will like the original and some people will like Intense, because headed to the dry down, it's pretty much the same. I mean, you are gonna get your jasmine, patchouli, your vanilla is pretty much on the same amount. You're gonna get sandalwood and other woods as well. So, I mean, headed to the dry down, that's where it's kind of the same, I would say. I wouldn't say that this is 90% the same, guys, because you will really see a stark difference. I mean, even when you wear it, you're gonna, you know, really go into like the first part and go, oh wow, uplifting, casual, vibrant. And then the second one is like, oh, it's like it's there, the projection is there, but it's like, oh, this is not vibrant. It is more of like a semi-formal smell right here, and then it goes into like sweet oud, suede, before it goes into patchouli and jasmine. People are saying things about the longevity and projection, but really it's because of the difference in makeup of this fragrance right here, Intense Cedrat Boise. So what do I like better? That's the big question with this review. I mean, I think to me, I like the first one better. Okay, that's just me. And the reason why I say this, I think that, you know, a lot of people that are writing reviews about this fragrance that are saying, oh, you know, the Intense is what the original was meant to be. It's a much rounder, more complete fragrance. I mean, okay, that's really nice, but you know, take note that they are also taking advantage of the fact that it's new, the fact that it's hyped, and it is right now in conversation. So a lot of people are going to say a bunch of lovely things about it. And there are a lot of lovely things about the Intense version. It's just that if you ask me, I have a lot of these, you know, upscale grabbers that already have a curve, that already have a semi-formal nature in them. But if we're talking about the mood-enhancing Blaster Freshies, the mood-enhancing one, with that beautiful second layer, like I said, I think that the original fits my collection better than adding the Intense. But of course, that might be different for some people. Some people might need a semi-formal upscale grabber into their collection that, you know, maybe they have a lot of the mass appealing blasters already. So maybe that's where Intense really fits in. For me personally, I have a lot of those already. If we're talking about the heat coming up right here in Cali, of course, from now until the summer, I would go for the original. I really like the vibrance. I don't care if people call it, what do they call it? Scratchy or synthetic. But that's what it's for. That's what the original Mancera Cedrat Boise is for. It's a sillage bomb that just puts you in a great mood. And so I will still go for the original compared to this one. And because of the pricing, because Intense is totally new, you're not gonna get it in discounted prices, or, you know, maybe you'll get it resell for a lower price with people that don't like it. But I will say this, that for me, I've never had a problem sourcing a bottle of Cedrat Boise. I think it's one of the cheapest things in Fragcom. And so, you know, I think price-wise, it'll still be great to have the original. Maybe wait a little bit for the Intense to kind of die down on the hype, and maybe you'll see them in discounter websites, or discounter folks are going to be selling that. So price-wise, the original is still the king. Longevity-wise, I think that the Intense beats the original, guys. Okay, I think that the Intense lasts longer, significant scent, and I don't know if that's because the first one has been reformulated many times. Maybe that's the case, and that, you know, the Intense is just like the first batch ever. So I don't know, but for me, that one lasted longer than 9 hours, And for me, like I said, 7 hours is the max on the original Cedrat Boise. Now here's a side thing to talk about. Why did I actually sell my full bottle of Mancera Cedrat Boise if I actually liked it better than the Intense? Well, the reason being that for me, after 2 months of wearing it, I really didn't feel the need for a really strong, like super sillage, like citrus blast perfume. And the reason why I say that is because within the 2 months that I actually got to own this, I got to wear other things that had strong citrus blasts, and also the clones. And the clones provided that as well. Even something as cheap as Al Haramain La Venture Night was able to provide a strong citrusy blast for $30. And so I had too much of the same thing, in my opinion, when it came to the first initial blast. And so just a side note, that's the reason why I sold mine. A lot of people are buying this fragrance as sort of like an initiation into Fragcom, and a lot of people are subsequently selling it. So let me know in the comments below what made you sell it, if you did sell the original Mancera Cedrat Boise. And that is it. That is my comparison review of Mancera Cedrat Boise and Mancera Intense Cedrat Boise. Let me know on the comments, folks, what you guys think. Did my opinion jive with your opinion of these two fragrances? And is that exactly what you got? Or if not, let me know. If it's a little bit different, I don't care. It's fine with me. Let me know in the comments below what your opinions are on these two. What do you like better, the Intense or the original? Let me know in the comments below, guys. And again, thank you for liking, subscribing, following the channel, guys. We are growing consistently. We're headed towards 12,000. So thank you so much. Thank you for being with me on this fragrance journey, and I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless. Peace.